That's it? That's it? Oh my god.
Overwatch 2's PvE hero mode is being scrapped. Our expectations for you were low.
What is the difference between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2? I feel like this is a great question because a lot of people seem to really struggle to answer this question. Like, yes, you do have the 5v5, yes, you do have the sharp, yes, better graphics. Really, this is nothing insane because Overwatch 2 is a sequel. And when people think of a sequel, they think of what they already have, but better. But a lot of people, including myself, don't feel that way at all. And I think this is the start of the fall of Overwatch 2. I think the fall definitely started on launch day of Overwatch 2, where the sequel that was extremely hyped up didn't end up coming out with PvE, and even within the whole new format of 5v5, the game still felt very lackluster. It felt like this, honestly, Overwatch 2 drop could have been done with an Overwatch 1 update. Like, it felt more like an update and transition just to have a shop in the game and to make it free to play. And having those as like the two main things that people are learning about your game is not a good sign. And then even after months and months asking about the PvE mode, it ended up being cancelled completely, cut off. They're not going to work on it anymore. And I think this was the part when people were just generally sick of Blizzard and its greediness, because you hyped up the sequel so much, especially showing previews of the PvE mode, just to essentially just completely drop it. And I think this hurt a lot of people, and they just basically completely refused to play Overwatch ever since then. And another thing as well is that they pretty much removed most quality of life things. Or for example, looking for a group. Yeah, it's a lot more easier to do this now because people have Discords and this and that, but when I was on my PlayStation 4, or if you want an Xbox One, Discord wasn't a thing on console. And I feel like it's a lot more easy to find groups in the Finder group because no groups that were filled with players would ever show up, so it was extremely easy to find groups. I never understood why they removed it, but it just made the game feel a lot more empty. It just feels like another generic like multiplayer game. And another thing, they also made a dev blog post about 6v6 versus 5v5, which coincidentally came out like I'm pretty sure the same day as Marvel Rivals, which is quite a big coincidence, not gonna lie. But people hearing that we might go back to 6v6, which a lot of people are happy about, but at the same time they're also wondering what the fuck was 2 years for. Like, why did we just waste 2 years having double the amount of updates compared to Overwatch 1, which is 6 years old by the way? Like, why did we just waste 2 years for no reason? And I think the best way to explain it is with the dev blog post. Damage heroes often complain that Vavero was the least impactful relative to the strength of super powerful tank synergies and support heroes in doing their playmaking. And it's like, you just answered your own question, because this is the one thing that really fucking pisses me off about Blizzard balancing team, is that Immortality literally allowed double shield to happen. Immortality allowed so much bullshit just to happen in the game. When you say, let's say in double shield meta, if you finally break the 2 shields, now you have to worry about the Immortality, because you can't make a play if there's gonna be a Mortality lamp just swooped in to save the tanks. That's why there wasn't a big enough window to actually, you know, for DPS players to actually go in and get kills, because it would just get immortalized. It's like they know the problem, but they just don't want to point it out. It wasn't just about double shields though. The ability to stack a very defensive heavy lineup, especially in game modes that required a team to push through a small choke, caused a lot of matches to feel like there was no progress at all. People stacking abilities is a main issue from the balancing team and the people who decided to give these characters a lot of abilities and just made them way overkitted. There's a good reason why people didn't play Reinhardt with Orisa in a double shield meta, is because Reinhardt can't really do much without his shield, compared to Sigma, who not only has his shield but can shoot with his shield out, and his primary fire is ranged, so he can definitely poke. And Orisa could do the same thing. She had a shield and she can shoot while having her shield deployed. So you have 2 tanks with high sustain abilities like Kinetic Grasp and Fortify. So even if you do break the 2 shields, you have to either deal with a Fortify or a Kinetic Grasp. Even after, let's say, the tanks have no cooldowns whatsoever, there's just gonna be a BAP at the back of the map just throwing a fucking lamp to save them. So it's like, even if you just made a play and you just put so much effort into breaking the shields and making the tanks waste their abilities, you still have to deal with the mortality bullshit. And even now, in Overwatch 2, we actually ended up getting another character on release, Kiriko, with a mortality and in cleanse, so antis basically are just fuck all. And then you have a character like Lifeweaver who literally corrects mistakes of dumb fucking plays. Like plays where a person should die, Lifeweaver can just press one button and just negate it all. So it's kind of ironic that they're talking about how plays have no impacts, yet they add these like dumbass fucking abilities that save dumb fucking people. The biggest factor driving the difference between Overwatch and Overwatch 2 queue times is the ratio of players queuing for each role. We hear players speculate that long queue times are a result of not enough players playing Overwatch. That isn't the case, but instead that relative to the other roles, players generally queue tank less, leading to longer wait times for all while we wait for a tank to free up to find a proper match. And I feel like this, honestly, queue times can just completely just be fixed by just adding in open queue again. I feel like we only had issues with queue times because of role queue, but I feel like what they should do is they should add open queue again, but then let's say if they keep the 5v5 format, for example, if one player picks tank should be completely grayed out, and then 2 people and then 4 people have the choice of going either DPS or support in the 2-2-2 format. And I feel like this will add the quickness time queues of open queue, but also still having the role queue type of game mode. So now you avoid having goats again. Please don't bring goats back. And even with the double shield meta as well, like you pretty much remove like most of the shield, so the characters like even Arissa got a complete rework. I feel like double shield shouldn't be an issue, especially if we go back to 6v6 as well. But essentially the whole devlog is just them saying that they're going to have tests for the 6v6 format. And again, it comes down to the question, what was the point of Overwatch 2? Like I feel like a lot of people wouldn't be as angry with Overwatch if they weren't essentially, you know, being baited then switched. But yeah guys, what do you guys think of the video? Please comment down on your thoughts. Like if you like it, dislike it if you want. It is what it is. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching and peace out.